Hey YouTube, this is d.c.watches, coming at you guys with my first video. I figured what better way to start off this channel than to start with a state of the collection. So I guess without further ado, we will start with my first watch and kind of work our way up through my collection as it stands today. So the first watch I ever got is this Fossil Snoopy watch that my dad gave me when I was quite young. Now this watch hasn't run in quite some time. I have not put a battery in it in a while. It is a limited edition Fossil watch. As you can see there, it's number 2,645 out of 10,000. That is my only limited edition watch. And I would imagine it probably stays that way for quite some time. But this is kind of not necessarily what got me started, but this is definitely the first watch that I had. So next, when I was in, I think 5th grade or so, my dad gave me this Seiko Quartz. This watch I wore pretty hard. I don't know if you can tell by how jacked up the bracelet is and the clasp. You can see the brass plating is kind of worn off in a lot of spots, but this definitely kind of got me interested in watches again. No battery in it, which is too bad. But this is another one that kind of got me started earlier than maybe most. But I would say even at this point, I still wasn't really into watches. That kind of came later. One last watch that my dad gave me, not necessarily in chronological order. He actually gave me this relatively recently, but kind of fits in with the theme of things my dad gave me. Is this Swatch that he used to wear. I really don't know much about it. The bracelet is just, or the strap rather, is really not in fantastic shape. But so this is my dad's, I guess, all black or patterned black Swatch. If you guys know anything about it, I would love to learn more. I'm woefully ignorant, I would say, about the history of this watch. And so next we have some digital pieces, some fitness bands and the like that don't really fit in my collection, but are still here nonetheless. So I have a Fitbit Charge 2 that I haven't worn in, I'd say, about a year at this point. I don't think it is charged or will turn on. Part of my collection nonetheless, definitely something I wore for quite a while. Next is a rather ubiquitous piece in the community. It's my digital Casio F91W, a watch that I wear quite regularly. If I'm going to be completely honest, I wear it several times a week, just to work out and the like. I really wish it would focus. That'd be awesome. But yeah, so Casio F91W, I would argue probably the best money that you can spend collecting watches, as it's, I think, around $10 on Amazon, and it really does do everything. I love this watch. I wear this watch all the time. It's a pretty fantastic beater for people that get into that kind of thing. Next is the watch I've been wearing more regularly. This is my G-Shock. This was, I guess, a pseudo gift from my dad. I think we split it because I really wanted a G-Shock. This is the watch I wear working out most days. It's a DW6900. Honestly, I think a rather underrated iteration of the G-Shock. I know a lot of people love the squares, but I think the DW6900 is honestly kind of a value proposition as well. You see these going for around $40 pretty regularly. It's super comfortable. Watch can take an absolute beating. I love this thing, and this is what I wear, I guess, most days to work out. This is what I wore this morning. It's what I wear tomorrow also. It's a great piece. So with that, we're going to get into my mechanical pieces now. So my first mechanical piece is this. much like most people, I kind of started with the basics. I started with a Seiko SKX 007. I modded the bezel a la Adrian from Bark and Jack with bleach to give it kind of an aged look. This watch is absolutely fantastic. 120 click, unidirectional bezel. I still have it on, you can see some of the battle wounds on the case. I still have it on the original bracelet, which has seen better days, I would say, but, you know, this watch is meant to be worn, I would say. So this still has the 7S26 movement in it. I'm planning to do an upgrade on that, and I'll probably make a video about that when I do, but this is what I got right now. So Seiko SKX 007 with the 7S26 movement in it. That watch gets a considerable amount of wrist time. That was actually what I was wearing today before I took it off to make this video. So next we have a 1990s Seamaster 300. This watch is an incredibly important watch to me. So this is a watch that I bought with the first money I ever made working in politics, which is the field that I work in now. If you can guess, d.c.watches, I do live in Washington, D.C., and work in policy. But so this is my Seamaster 300 from the early to mid-90s. This is the reference 253180, I believe. This is an absolutely wonderful piece. The anti-reflective coating is scratched right there, which is not fantastic, but it's okay. The red has faded off of the second hand, which I love. The dial has faded to a much lighter blue than original, and so is the bezel. The bezel's also faded to this quite nice light blue, and I love the wave dial. I think the wave dial is amazing. I'm not a huge fan of the new wave dial. I actually kind of preferred the flat dial that they did before the current wave dial, but this is still my favorite Seamaster dial. Like, when you catch it in the light, it's just, I mean, come on, that's just incredible. You can't not love that. So yeah, this is my Seamaster 300, 253180. This piece is a keeper, never going anywhere. I love this watch. This watch is definitely one of my favorite watches ever. Absolute pleasure to own. Yeah, so my 1990s Seamaster 300. Next, we have kind of the heavy hitter of my collection. It is a 1994 Speedmaster, or 1993, excuse me, Speedmaster Professional reference 145.022. This, of course, has the Omega 861 manual wind movement in it, manual wind chronograph movement in it, which is one of my favorite manual wind movements out there. I think the 1861 is also a rather nice movement, but I like the idea of having a movement just an iteration closer to the 321. This reference of Speedmaster also has my favorite bracelet on it. The part number, I believe, is 1479. I think this is the best bracelet Omega has ever made, in my opinion. So this is it's the Hesselite version, obviously, because it's the 145.022. I have exceptionally small wrists. I have about a 6-inch wrist on the dot. But the Speedmaster still wears relatively well on my smaller wrists. Just watch the second tick over. Probably my favorite part about owning this watch, or the minute rather. Kind of missed it, but oh well. So this is my Speedmaster Professional. Absolutely fantastic watch. This is the nicest watch I own by quite a bit. This is never leaving my collection. I bought this as a graduation present to myself when I left college in December of 2019, when I got hired at my first job in Washington, D.C. This was kind of, I got hired while I was still at school, and so I spent part of my first paycheck on this watch, and a little bit of savings also. But it was, you know, I don't regret that decision at all. I think this is just an absolutely incredible watch. This watch gets the most wrist time out of any other watch that I own, and I think it's genuinely a rather incredible watch. I think the dial is amazing, and the distortion you get through the Hesselite, I mean, come on. That is a rather amazing watch. So there's my Speedmaster Professional, which goes rather nicely, I would say, with the Seamaster Professional. And then lastly, we have my most recent acquisition, which I got, I would say, about a month ago. It's this Nomos Minimatic, I think this is the reference 1203. So this is a reference 1203 first edition from 2016. Loosely based off of a recommendation from Gary Steingart on his episode of Talking Watches. Let's see if I can get the first edition in there. You can kind of see me instead, but see Minimatic 290, and then right there it says Neomatic first edition. So this watch is something I was after for a little while. I had wanted a Nomos for quite some time, and I wasn't really sure which one. Again, I have smaller wrists, so a lot of the even 38s wear really, really large with the size of their lugs. But the way this case is built, you know, kind of like a bowl almost, makes it wear really, really well. I would love to do a full review on this if you guys would like to see that. So this watch, of course, has the DUW 3001 movement in it, which was their first movement with their own proprietary swing system, which you can see right here. Now this particular DUW 3001 is number 1852. So definitely a part of their first run of the DUW 3001 movement. Now this movement is absolutely incredible. I wanted a Nomos mostly because of the way that the back of a Nomos looks, you know, with the work that they do to make the movements look as beautiful as they do. Nomos is just truly a wonderful brand and a wonderful watch to experience for any watch collector, especially a younger watch collector. I just turned 22, so this is kind of a perfect piece right now. They list it as a women's watch sometimes, the Minimatic, but I honestly think it wears rather well. I'm going to try to splice some pictures in here and there to kind of show you guys what the watches look like on wrist. But yeah, so this is my Nomos Minimatic. An absolutely wonderful watch. I love the red the red handset on this. I think it's absolutely stunning, and the kind of cyan minute markers are wonderful. I love this watch, and I love how they capped the center pinion. I think it's a really, really nice touch that kind of adds to the completeness of the watch. See if you guys can see that. I love that. I think that's a wonderful aspect of this. I realize that you can see the cyan and the gold, the gold drilled in markers every 5. Another rather incredible watch, I would say. Alright, well this video went considerably longer than I had originally expected it to, which I think is okay, but there's the kind of the full collection shot for you guys. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys more videos, and I'm hoping to do one of these every 6 months to kind of update you guys on the collection as it stands, and you know, I'd like to see this channel grow and share more watch collecting stories with you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or reach out to me via email or Instagram. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, this has been D.C. Watches. Thanks.